Distinguished guests, please direct your attention to the stage.
We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. At Princess Margaret Cancer Centre and across University Health Network, we are committed to supporting the implementation of the Truth and Reconciliation Calls to Action, and we are proud to serve patients and families who identify as First Nations, Inuit, or Métis, accessing. We acknowledge the land.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's such a pleasure to see you. I'm Dr. Mio Yamashita, President and CEO of the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us today. A very special welcome to Peter Gilgan, the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, Ministers Jones and Quinn, who are also with us today, and colleagues, friends, and everyone joining us virtually. Today, we'll be making an announcement that will have transformative impact, not only for cancer patients here at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, but across Canada and around the world. Now, we've got a short but exciting program this morning. Along with our Premier, you'll hear from UHN President and CEO, Dr. Kevin Smith. You'll also hear from the head of the Provincial Genetics Program at Ontario Health, one of our clinician scientists, and the medical director of our Early Detection Program at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, Dr. Raymond Kim, one of Dr. Kim's very courageous and inspiring patients, Luana Locke, plus an extraordinary special guest, who I will introduce a bit later. At the Princess Margaret, we really do understand what it's like to hear the words, "You have cancer." And we know, unfortunately, that these are words that 2 in 5 Canadians will hear in their lifetime, with cancer being the leading cause of death in Canada. But fortunately, there has been great progress against cancer over the decades. Average cancer survival rates in Canada have increased from 25% in the 1940s to 50% in the 1980s to 64% today. But we are not done yet. And fortunately, there's a new dawn in the fight against cancer. Today, we're gathered at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre at UHN, a globally renowned, hope-filled cancer research and treatment center for cancer patients everywhere, to make an exciting announcement about a remarkable philanthropic investment in early cancer detection that will help us identify cancer much earlier, and in some cases, before signs of cancer even appear. Now, before we get to the details of our announcement, I'd like to invite Dr. Kevin Smith, President and CEO of UHN, to comment on the significance of today's announcement.
Thank you, Mio. Well, let me echo, I'm a little bit taller than Mio. Let me echo Mio's warm welcome to each of you. This is a very important day, a red letter day for Ontario and for Canada. It really is a moment that allows us to share our reflections and commitment to scientific excellence, to patient care, and to shaping the future of cancer research and treatment. Before I begin, I want to, most importantly, acknowledge many of the very important people here, and there are no more important people than the patients who are with us today, who we are privileged to serve on their journey with cancer. Please give them a round of applause. It is always a pleasure to welcome back our Premier, Doug Ford, our Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Sylvia Jones, our Minister of Colleges, Universities, Research Excellence and Security, the Honourable Nolan Quinn. Thank you, Ministers, for being here. And of course, Premier, always a pleasure to welcome you back. I also want to recognize and acknowledge our most senior volunteers. They are the UHN Board of Trustees and the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation Board of Trustees. I see a number of you out there. If you just raise your hand so people might want to come and chat with you a little bit later and hear a bit more about what you're doing. Thank you. And our guest of honor, a visionary entrepreneur, a philanthropist, a long-standing partner to UHN, but to so many more healthcare facilities and broader organizations in our civil society, the remarkable Mr. Peter Gilgan. Canada should be proud, not only of producing remarkable people like Peter, but also for the scientific prowess that we've exerted and exhibited in cancer research. Right here at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, those discoveries include the stem cell, which has truly reshaped regenerative medicine, remarkable scientific advances in immunology that underpin some of the world's most effective and emerging cancer therapies, and one of the most active clinical research programs anywhere in the world, with patients seeing over 1,200 clinical trials that they might take part in. And last but not least, a unique focus for a hospital, and a very important one, basic science research, understanding the molecular basis of disease, and coming to understand through curiosity-driven scientific questions the why of every part of cancer and its corollaries. Yet the challenge before us, despite these remarkable advances, has never been greater. As Mio shared, we've made tremendous progress against cancer, but we know cancer cases in Canada are projected to rise 40% over the next 15 years. This is driven by population growth, aging, and success. More and more people are surviving, but cancer can be a disease that returns, hence our discussion today. We also are concerned about, and you've seen the data as I, the number of young people seeing preliminary cancer presentations, and our quest to ensure that we minimize those. Globally, this is a moment of profound shift. As our global research ecosystem faces truly shifting sands, Canada has the rare opportunity to step forward, to lead the next frontier in early detection and translational oncology, and to create commercial paths to produce and sell this research internationally and build a stronger health-based economy. We are truly uniquely positioned to seize the moment with a fully integrated health system, thanks to Deputy Premier and Minister Jones, thanks to Minister Quinn, and of course, thanks to our Premier. We have never had as great a concentration of world-leading research excellence, and that's growing daily. A previous announcement, which the two ministers and the Premier were here for, Canada Leads, is already producing great success, with 40 of 100 initial wonderful new scientists having now been recruited. We also have unparalleled data sets, world-leading genomics and AI capacity, and again, working with our government, the opportunity to continue to expand those. Leadership, commercial, political, scientific, and philanthropic, is what makes moments like these happen. And in that spirit, I want to acknowledge someone whose impact on Canada and globally is truly extraordinary. Peter Gilgan is one of this nation's great builders in every sense of the word, in commerce and business, in innovation, in community, and in philanthropy. Peter's vision has strengthened healthcare, advanced research, changed and modified our civil society to be a better one, and expanded the possibilities for countless Canadians, none more so than the remarkable gift we'll talk about in a moment. And while I won't preempt the main event, although some who've read the Globe might have done so, I will say this. The next chapter Peter is helping Canada to write in cancer research is remarkable in its global ambition, its significance, and its true impact for patients and families. On behalf of University Health Network, chaired by Dean Connor, and all of us who have been affected by cancer, thank you, Peter. It's here. It's always my great pleasure to welcome back a truly incredible partner to UHN, the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario. Premier Ford, your government has been our steadfast partner in strengthening Ontario's healthcare system, in making historic investments, and expanding access to care, and to build an innovation ecosystem second to none in the world that attracts and retains the best global talent in so many domains, including cancer. You've also challenged us and are working with us to ensure that those investments translate into great jobs, and I'm proud to stand before you today and say 6,000 people at UHN work exclusively in research, a wonderful new business that couldn't have a greater return, and it wouldn't happen without your investment and support, so sincere thanks for that, sir. Hear. These investments ensure that Canada can have and can maintain a Princess Margaret and a UHN, a best-in-the-world hospital and health system. It can be done in a publicly funded system, and we thank the Premier for helping us prove that every day. Your leadership has helped ensure that Ontarians and Canadians remain a place where ambition is not only welcomed, but celebrated, and where breakthroughs are not only possible, but where commerce and compassion can truly be united. Please join with me in welcoming our Premier, Doug Ford.
Well, first of all, thank you for the kind words, Kevin, but it wouldn't be possible with the great people. Folks, you should see this site looking up like that. It's absolutely spectacular, and Kevin, yourself, and your whole team here, thank you for everything that you're doing, and Miyu, thank you for your leadership, and Leilu and Raymond, the whole team here. It's absolutely incredible, but I couldn't do my job without the best Deputy Premier Minister of Health this province has ever seen, Minister Jones, and a great Minister of Colleges and Universities, Nolan Quinn. So thank you so much for being here. You know, I have an opportunity to speak to a lot of people around the world, and often healthcare comes up. And it's not me always bragging, because I do brag about our healthcare system, but it's them telling us, no matter if it's ambassadors or consul generals or governors that come up and pay us a visit, that they're in awe when they see our healthcare system. And I always will continue to fund it. To give you, we're pouring money into healthcare, the likes of which this province has never seen. We put in from 61 billion when we took office up to 31 billion, and then all the other areas from building. And my minister, she's really, we call her the general, the deputy minister, Jones, and she gets nervous when I have Kevin over the house or anything, because it says every time you see Kevin, it costs us about $2 billion to $3 billion, and that's a good thing. And we call that an investment. You know, you're leading the future of medicine and cancer care, and folks, I can tell you, cancer is very close to my heart, my family's heart. Unfortunately, I lost my mother, my father, and my brother at a very young age. So I will do whatever. I will not spare a penny when it comes to cancer research or putting money towards cancer research. There's a special person here, and that's Peter. I know you introduced him already, but he is a true philanthropist. He loves his community, he cares about his community. He doesn't just build beautiful homes under Madam E's logo, so please buy one of his homes, because all his profits come back to the hospital usually. but he's an out-of-the-box thinker. I go to see Humber College, and he's working with them to build homes over there. And before I walked out, what is very close to Peter's heart is making sure we have affordable housing for our frontline healthcare workers. We have the best healthcare workers anywhere in the world. I will put our frontline nurses and docs and PSWs and everyone else against anyone in the world. But that's the passion Peter has. But not only is he a great builder, a great philanthropist, and by the way, probably the #1 in the entire country when it comes to philanthropy and building, but he's one heck of a fisherman. I'll tell you, I've been out in the middle of the ocean with him fishing, and you do a great job there, so I learned a lot off you, Peter. You know, from research into stem cells, the breakthroughs that we've seen here at UHN and Princess Margaret, which are changing millions of lives every single day. The future of cancer care are better today than they were years ago, and better for patients every single day. That runs through Princess Margaret and the team that's right in this building right now. This hospital provides world-class care to nearly 280,000 people every single year as part of the largest hospital network in Canada. And I think we all know UHN as a whole is the #1 research hospital in Canada. The support Princess Margaret gets every single year, not just from government, but from the community and everyone pitching in, because they know everyone at one time or another has a friend, a loved one that's been through these doors, and you've saved millions and millions of lives. In innovative programs to expand inpatient and outpatient care resources, increase hospital stem cell processing capacity, and connect patients to life-saving cancer drugs. And we're leading the country in making sure we get approvals for life-saving cancer drugs. We were out of the gate, and again, I want to thank Minister Jones for leading the way. But folks, we were last on the poll there when it came to countries approving drugs. We were a lot longer than any other region in the world. Now, we're going to be bumped up to #1. We're going to do everything we can to get through Health Canada, get these approvals, and get these life-saving drugs to help the people of Canada. Again, I'm not going to read the rest of my speech because it keeps going on and on and on. I just want to tell you that I love each and every one of you, and if you ever need help, call me on my cell phone. I will get back to you. I have a special 1-800 number I put together. It's 1-800-CALL Kevin Smith, and he'll take care of it. God bless you. God bless the people of Ontario, and thank you for everything you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Premier. I'm now delighted to reveal the reason we're all here today, and I think some of you did probably see a sneak preview this morning in the Globe, but the official announcement of an unprecedented $50 million gift towards early cancer detection from Peter Gilgan. Together with donations made to other hospitals and healthcare organizations, Peter Gilgan continues to be the largest benefactor to healthcare in Canada. Thank you, Peter. This extraordinary gift will establish the Peter Gilgan Centre for Early Cancer Detection Research at the Princess Margaret, making it the largest research program of its kind globally. Led by our world-renowned scientists, one of whom you'll hear from in a moment, the Peter Gilgan Centre for Early Cancer Detection Research will conduct pioneering research into how cancer actually develops and translate new discoveries that will stop cancer before it actually starts to take hold. This will enable more people, adults and children alike, to live long, healthy, and fulfilling lives. Generosity of this magnitude, we know, is transformative, and we're incredibly grateful to you, Peter, for your visionary philanthropic leadership and for your shared commitment to accelerating a world free from the fear of cancer through early detection. It's now my very great privilege to welcome to the microphone an outstanding Canadian community builder and philanthropist, Peter Gilgan.
Doug, can I read your speech here? No, okay. Yeah, anyway, actually, quite frankly, it's one of these things where we should have compared notes because Kevin stole a lot of my thunder and what he didn't, the Honorable Premier did. But so, first of all, a lot of the, I guess a lot of the thanks go to my family, my children, because it's kind of like I don't need any more suits or cars or anything like that. And so it's really with the support of my family that we can make these decisions to invest in projects like this. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's simple math, like Dad's made a bunch of money and what are we going to do with it? And well, we have to continue to, make new investments to continue to prosper as a family and as a business. It's also a decision that we don't make lightly about where we invest money in philanthropic endeavors. And that's why this one is, it's really interesting because perhaps an overused expression sometimes, but I really think this will be a golden age for cancer research. Because I've kind of hung around the medical community for a few decades now, and what seemed to take 5 or 10 years before is now taking 5 or 10 weeks or 5 or 10 months at best. The rate of the tools that are available today through a lot of Canadian research, a lot of Canadian innovation that started in Canada, make the ability to discover things unprecedented, something we can't imagine. And I remember attending a lecture one time and being used to hearing how research and so on takes 15 years to do things. And the one researcher said, oh, heck, that was 5 years ago. That's ages ago since we discovered this thing. So it really occurred to me that we've got this great opportunity. And we, not just government, but we as the society, I guess, we have the ability to influence how much research happens. And that's what we're trying to do here today. And government is I think encouraged when they see that society is behind certain things and they're not just standing alone. So this is also one of those things. And while it was said before, I don't want to underestimate the potential that this research projects will have in terms of building our nation, not only on the world stage, but also commercially. And it's not the primary intent, of course. The primary intent is to save lives, but the corollary benefit that's available to us if we do it right is, who wouldn't give $1 million to save their life from cancer? Anyone in this room? And you'd give more, right? Yeah, yeah. But of the billions of people in this world, anything that's discovered, and one of the things that we need to do better as a country is enjoying the commercialization of the innovations that Canada has done just a fantastic job of on the research side, and we have underperformed on commercializing it. And that's one of the things that we're really focusing on is making sure that the country gets some benefit from the discoveries, making sure that that benefit then can go back to hospitals and back into further research, and you have that sort of flywheel effect, if you will, that we're not having to look around for additional funding for more research because we're generating the funding ourselves through the commercial enterprise. And I don't want to go on too long about that, but I'm just grateful to be here and grateful to have this opportunity. You know, my first apartment was $181 a month, and it was a struggle to pay it. And so hopefully I can pay it off a little, this obligation a little quicker than that, but, you know. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for everybody hanging out up there. It's unbelievable. And your signs of support are not unnoticed. And we'll have a great little celebration here. And here's to Canada.
Okay, so Peter, on behalf of us at the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre and UHN, and on behalf of cancer patients and their families in Toronto, across Canada, and globally who will benefit from your extraordinary generosity, thank you for your vision for the Peter Gilgan Centre for Early Cancer Detection Research. For those who I have not met yet, I am Medical Director of Early Cancer Detection in the Balwani Familial Cancer Clinic and head of the genetics program at Ontario Health. Importantly, I am most known for my silver sneakers. But on this occasion, I needed to sacrifice style for the big feet amongst my scientific leads, who you will identify also wearing some Adidas shoes. Although we Canadians are usually humble, I can confidently state we have the best and brightest here in Ontario. My own mother, who has 2 cancers, is a patient of the Princess Margaret, and there's nowhere else in the world I would want her treated. This gift reinforces the Princess Margaret's position as a global powerhouse in cancer research, education, and care. At the Princess Margaret, we have a team of elite scientists who will provide the initial foundation for the Peter Gilgan Centre for Early Cancer Detection Research. This includes my fellow scientific leads in silver shoes, raise your hands, Scott Bratman, Trevor Pugh, Lillian Sue, and this year's Peter Gilgan Gairdner Laureate, Daniel DiCarvalho. This homegrown talents and their nice sneakers will use the power of genomics, epigenetics, liquid biopsy, and clinical trials to realize the promise of early cancer detection. The Princess Margaret has made tremendous strides in understanding tough-to-treat cancers. It's time to take these lessons and direct them to efforts in early cancer detection. This gift will allow the Princess Margaret to be world-class in this area of cancer innovation. The Peter Gilgan Centre for Early Cancer Detection Research will focus on understanding how cancer starts, develop new technologies to find cancer at its earliest stages, and create the world's largest molecular residual disease, or MRD, program. In my clinic, I take care of patients who have inherited forms of cancer. These families call themselves cancer ticking time bombs, but their genes are the lighthouse as we carry the fire through the storm of curing cancer. The surest path to cure is detecting cancer early, such as stage 1 or even stage 0. It's my pleasure to introduce Luana Locke, one of the gene carriers I take care of. I always look forward to our appointments together, despite knowing by the end of it, Luana is going to try to pry into my personal life. Luana has been affected by over 5 cancers and often asks me, will any of her cancers come back? What can we do to detect it early? Please welcome Luana to share her story and how important the Peter Gilgan Center for Early Cancer Detection Research will help us all.
And I am much shorter than most, so thank you for the introduction, and thank you so much for having me here today. I'm really, really honored to have been asked to come and participate in this amazing event. But long before I knew about the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, there were 5 of us: my mom, my dad, my sister Manuela, my brother David, and me. My father would have said he had it all. We were happy. But by the time I turned 3, that perfect little world shattered. Cancer, in the form of an incurable brain tumor, came to take my sister's vision, her health, and eventually her life. She was only 9 years old. Life for what had now become the 4 of us was never the same again. But as hard as it was, nothing could have prepared us for what came next. We were barely beginning to heal from losing Manuela when the unimaginable happened. Just 3 years later, cancer returned, this time as metastatic breast cancer. My mother died in February 1978, 2 months shy of her 36th birthday, leaving behind a heartbroken husband and 2 little children who still desperately needed their mom and who longed for the family of 5 we once were. For many years after, we survived, healed slowly, and rebuilt, believing the worst was behind us. But cancer had other plans. 3 weeks after my 25th birthday, while 8 months pregnant with my first child, my world was once again upended with a diagnosis of breast cancer. I spent the final month of my pregnancy in a fog of conflicting emotions, the excitement of becoming a first-time mom, often interrupted by trips to the Princess Margaret, and by moments spent grappling with the very real possibility I might not live long enough to raise the child I was about to bring into this world. And my story might well have ended there, were it not for the extraordinary physicians at the Princess Margaret who have cared for me ever since. My very first doctor, 29 years ago, told me, "We're going to do everything we can to ensure your son does not become an orphan." Emboldened by those words, I followed every recommendation, including decisions that seemed drastic at the time, but would later prove life-saving. Years later, genetic testing uncovered the cause of my family's repeated encounters with cancer, Lee-Fraumeni syndrome, a condition that carries a near 100% lifetime risk of multiple cancers. Armed with this knowledge, we followed the Toronto Protocol, a rigorous screening program designed to catch cancers early. Thanks to those screening tools and to the Princess Margaret's own, Dr. Raymond Kim, and my own too, whose meticulous care and unwavering dedication guide every step of my screening, I have survived 5 additional diagnoses, from a minor form of skin cancer to a much more frightening lung cancer, without ever undergoing a single round of chemotherapy. But this is why I have sometimes felt unworthy of the title survivor. Yes, I've heard the words, "you have cancer," more times than anyone should. But my scars, physical and emotional, feel minor compared to those who've endured later stage diagnoses and harsher forms of treatment. Even within my own family, many were not as fortunate. In 2007, my nephew Marco died from an LFS-related cancer on the day of his 5th birthday. A few years later, his father, my brother David, passed away at just 46. My aunt, 2 cousins, my sister, my mother, my nephew and my brother, none of them had the benefit of early detection. Their cancers were discovered only after symptoms revealed a disease that had been silently growing for far too long. Just 2 weeks ago, on November 15th, we marked the 11th anniversary of my brother's passing. And in January, we will once again mark the birthday my nephew never got to celebrate. For so many members of my family and countless others like them, we mark the days they left us rather than celebrating another trip around the sun, trips they never got to have, days and years they never got to enjoy. That is the power of early detection. That is the difference it has made in my life, giving me what cancer stole from them: time. Knowing how cancer has callously reduced my family of 5 down to 2, I have spent years chasing milestones I never thought I would reach. My 36th birthday was bittersweet. It was the age my mother never reached. At 47, I felt the same conflicting emotions: gratitude, guilt, sadness, knowing my brother missed that birthday by just a month. And at 50, I celebrated simply being alive, thanks to proactive world-class care right here at Princess Margaret. That care is more important to me than ever. My 2 children both have LFS, and 4 years ago, my daughter Juliet was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 14. Today, she is 19 and in remission because science continues to advance, because new treatments exist, and because this institution refuses to accept the limits of the past. Both she and my son Lucas are monitored here at Princess Margaret Cancer Center, and they are both here to celebrate with us today. People often ask how I stay strong, but the truth is I cannot take the credit. I have simply put my trust in the brilliant, compassionate, relentless professionals at the Princess Margaret. They don't just treat patients, they push science forward. They find better ways to detect cancer early. They create treatments that save lives. They dream of and work for a future free from the fear of cancer. And that brings us to today. Today is a day of celebration, of hope, and of profound gratitude. Because today, we honor not only the extraordinary clinicians and scientists at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center, but also the dedication of the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation staff and the generosity of donors, Peter Gilgan, whose belief in this mission fuels transformative breakthroughs. This transformational gift we celebrate today will change lives. It will help detect cancers earlier, treat them more effectively, and ensure that more families get to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and milestones that once seemed out of reach. I've realized I am not an unworthy survivor. I am a testament to early detection, to advancing science, and to people like all of you who relentlessly challenge the status quo. I stand on your shoulders, and I owe my life to the work you do. My children and I are here in gratitude for my life, for theirs, and for the hope you bring to families today and generations that will follow. Thank you for giving us more days, more weeks, more years, and more trips around the sun.
Thank you so much, Luana. And thank you to your children for being here as well today. Your story just really underscores the importance of the life-changing impact that early detection has on patients and their families. Really grateful to you for joining us today. I'm going to ask you to please stay where you are, and I'd like to invite Peter to come around behind me. We know that the Peter Gilgan Center for Early Cancer Detection Research really represents the dawn of a new day in cancer research and care. And to symbolize that, we'd like both of you to place your hands on this orb, which will ignite a pathway of light that leads to better outcomes and brighter tomorrows for cancer patients and their loved ones. I'd ask everyone in our audience to follow the progression of the lights as they move towards the north end of the atrium and light a new path forward to a world where no one ever has to fear the words, "You have cancer." We're now at the end of this morning's program. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Luana. On behalf of everyone at the Princess Margaret and the millions of patients and their families who will benefit, thank you for helping us carry the fire for a world free from the fear of cancer. Thank you again.
Wow. See, you got the Kleenex.
I know, we need it.